Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go discussion video. Alright, so for the past couple of days, actually I will say for the past couple of weeks, Pokemon Go players have been feeling very negative towards the game. Like, I think it's for good reason because Niantic has been making a lot of design decisions that have been seen as unfavorable. The most recent example is of course the Elite Raid Day featuring Mega Rayquaza. That was an event that a lot of players were looking forward to, but for one reason or another, Niantic decided to design the event in a way that was going to be very inconvenient for a lot of people, and it was going to be restrictive enough where a majority of people who live in low population areas were not able to actually participate. And that created a lot of frustration. I mean, if you went on social media, if you went on Reddit, a lot of people were just angry and up in arms because of how Niantic handled this Elite Raid Day, and I think a lot of that frustration was well merited. But today I'm not going to be talking about any of that. I already talked about it ad nauseum in previous videos, so today I wanted to switch gears and talk about something a little bit more positive, something that I'm actually looking forward to. And that is of course Pokemon GO Fest. We are actually on the cusp of Pokemon GO Fest Global, which is going to be next weekend. But this weekend is going to be the New York City live in-person event, and I'm actually going to be attending that, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I of course attended Pokemon GO Fest in New York City last year, and I had a phenomenal time. Niantic did something right with Pokemon GO Fest. I feel like having the event be a half and half format, where the first half or the second half, depending on which ticket you bought, you could have like a park experience where it's going to be the traditional Pokemon GO Fest with habitats and special research and yada yada. And then the second half is, of course, within the city itself, where you go out and explore the city, you catch a whole bunch of the different Pokemon, and then of course you participate in a bunch of raids. And there's going to be a lot of people out and about playing, so it's going to be very easy for you to complete those raids. And I really enjoyed it. I actually specifically mentioned that to Michael Staranka, that it was a format that I hope they keep moving forward with live in-person events. And I'm glad they were very receptive to that feedback because it looks like this time around it's going to be the exact same thing, and I think that's awesome, personally speaking. Now, some of the things that I'm looking forward to this year is of course Necrozma. I think it's really hyped that we're getting Necrozma and the fusions for this Pokemon. They are going to be some of the most powerful Pokemon in the game, and it's going to be like that for a very long time. The fact that this is a non-mega legendary Pokemon that's going to be as strong as a legendary Mega Evolution, that's got to be incredibly hype, and I think for a lot of people, this is something that they were looking forward to. It's a new and unique mechanic, this fusion mechanic, and of course it's not going to end with Necrozma. We of course have Kyurem and its fusions later on down the road, and I really do think that this is going to open up a lot of doors because both fusions for Necrozma are not a disappointment. They're very powerful Pokemon. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I think I'm going to raid as hard as I've ever raided. I'm going to be going for those 100% IVs for Necrozma. I'm going to be going for the shinies. And then on top of that, I think when it comes to live in-person events, and I think this often gets understated, but it is actually one of the strengths with Niantic. I think they know how to do live in-person events. They tend to put a lot of their creativity into having these sort of events. Like, they have the different habitats, they have a lot of nice props, they make it very immersive for players, and they do a lot of things like photo ops and, of course, the different contests, like trivia contests and all these different things. It's always a really good time. Like, if there's anything that Niantic does really well, and it's something that I've been arguing for the past couple of years, it is live in-person events. They have a lot of stuff that happens during these Go Tour events and Go Fest events that I really wish they put a lot of that creative energy into the game itself, because for the amount of effort that they put into Go Fest and Go Tour, if they were to do that for the game, I think the game would be in a much better place, honestly. Because it's kind of like a bad comparison. All of the stuff that they add to Pokemon Go, it's always kind of lackluster, and it feels like it's always, I don't know, it's not necessarily polished, but when it comes to Pokemon Go Fest, it always feels like they put so much effort into it. There's so much, I don't know, polish and creativity, and there's always so many different activities. They make sure it is a lot of fun and people get their money's worth, that I really wish they had that same attitude towards Pokemon Go, because rather than constantly taking away things that players like, Niantic should be adding more things to Pokemon Go that players would actually enjoy. But that's besides the point. I'm still looking forward to this live in-person event, and if anything, I wish they did more of them every year. As of right now, the format seems to be that they have a Go Tour event at the beginning of the year, then they have the Go Fest events in the middle of the year in the summer, And then at the fall, they have City Safari events. And maybe that's why they're having Go Fest so much earlier this year. I think it's about a month earlier than they had last year. And maybe it's because they are planning to do something in the fall aside from the City Safari events. Or maybe they're planning to do more City Safari events. Because that was a point of feedback that I gave last year. I felt like they should do more City Safari events and have them in different cities so that more players are able to actually have an in-person experience. Because I really think that if you can go to an in-person Pokemon Go event, you definitely should, because when it comes to Go Tour and when it comes to Go Fest, barring any technical issues, it is guaranteed to be a really good time. But that kind of brings up something that I'm actually very concerned about. I really hope that when it comes to Pokemon Go Fest this year, they make sure that it is not full of technical issues. I think that's something that players worry about when they attend these events. I mean, it was very apparent last year with the Go Tour event in Las Vegas. If a lot of people are packed in a specific location, it's going to create cell service issues, it's going to create lag issues, and it's going to create server issues. And Niantic, for the most part, have done a really good job at mitigating a lot of those problems. But they often happen, you know? Like even at New York last year, there were definitely moments where I felt like it was really hard to play Pokemon Go. And I think it's mainly because there was just so many people at Randall's Island Park. So hopefully this year it's not going to be as bad. Maybe not as many people will be attending. I really do not know. But yeah, if Niantic is on top of their game, it's going to be a flawless experience. But I do predict there's going to be some server issues. That just tends to be the case with these sort of events. But who knows? Maybe Niantic will add even more cell towers than they did last year so that it runs smoothly throughout the entire experience. But that's besides the point. I love visiting New York City. I think it's going to be a really great time. They have great food, they have just a really positive vibe, and there's just so many different things to sightsee. And, you know, I wouldn't move to New York City personally. I think it's a little too dirty and it's a little too busy. But visiting New York City is always a great experience. And I think with Pokemon Go Fest, it's going to be one of those things where I just feel right at home. Because you know, I really miss having Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago. I mean, yeah, I do like traveling for these events. I think it's part of the experience, but you know, the convenience of having Pokemon Go Fest in your home city, that was always something that I really appreciated. But you know, it's been a while since we've had a Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, and maybe next year they could consider bringing it back. I don't know. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding live in-person events down below. Are you looking forward to New York City if you're attending? Are you looking forward to the global event? Definitely share some of your thoughts if you feel like live in-person events are really good, or if you feel like they're really bad. I would definitely like to know. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying this video and found it to be insightful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Conscience channel, the absolute best way you could do so is by joining my Patreon. If you choose to do that, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So that means when it comes to remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. I'm on the following platforms that you see on screen. My handle is @Jinsula. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.